Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. God, we're running out of September quickly. And there we are. This is a quick mail call. So, my wall of fame here. And there he is. Captain, Spongy, Calvin. My two winners from the contest. And the newest. 1WildcamaroSS. By the way, I don't want to miss anybody here. Right? Viking and Rusty. And Midwest Moto Rider. Steve. My old sticker. My new sticker. I think I got everybody. Oh, little dog. Anyway, he's up in Ontario. And he sent me this sticker. And if you go check out his channel, he's got a cool channel. And one of the major things featured is this 68 Camaro SS. He put a new motor in it. It's beautiful. It's red in color. A friend of mine had a 68 Firebird. And they were similar, and we used to race around in that when we were in high school. It's amazing that we're still alive. His was a Bondo Freak. One night we were out doing donuts with it, and we slammed into a sideswiped a lighting pole. It was a concrete thing with a light pole that came up in the center of it. Doing donuts in the Kmart parking lot. Oh no, it wasn't Kmart. It was Grant's, WC Grant's. It was before there wasn't a Kmart around. It's WC Grant's over there by the Five Corners in Vails Gate, New York. So we were out in the snow doing donuts and screwing around, and the next thing you know, wham! And caved the side and got part of the door, got behind the door mostly, and into the tire. We pried the body off the tire, limped it home, beat the metal out the best we could, put a bunch of Bondo on it. I don't think it broke the window. I don't remember the windows being broken back there. But yeah, it was ugly. And then we, of course, went and got Duplicolor paint at, here's another old store for you, Lloyd's there. I guess that's considered Newburgh, right there on 308. I think it's 308. Anyway. So, yeah, we patched it up and it went out, and we did a whole bunch of other stupid things with the car. Eventually, his father made him sell it because his father was convinced that he was going to die in that car. So, obviously, his father was smarter than we were. Anyway, so it's a beautiful, beautiful car, the Camaro SS. One of the videos I watched from him last night was about knives. He has a camp and some knives, and he lent a buddy of his 3 of his knives to, the guy was basically teaching his kids some, I call it woodsmanship, some outdoor skills. And they were working on some wood, and they got one of the knives stuck. And then they went to use the second knife to get it out, and got that one stuck. And then I guess they were kind of pounding on the handle of the second knife, and they broke it. They broke the knife blade off the handle. And then, however, they were messing around with the first knife. I guess they snapped the first one in half. I mean, these guys were kind of tough on these knives. But anyway, his buddy replaced them, gave him 3 new knives, kept the old ones. So that was really, his buddy's a good buddy to do that. I mean, you're a good buddy if you'll lend somebody knives. I can kind of consider knives like a toothbrush or a wife. Something you really don't lend out, because if they do something stupid, they get hurt, and now you lent them a knife and they just got hurt with it. And if they break them, right, once again, knives are kind of a personal thing, but he lent it out, which means he must consider this buddy of his a really good friend, and his buddy broke them, and his buddy replaced them, as should be done, right? If you mess up somebody's stuff, right, you should make them whole again by replacing them. So anyhow, good guy. Go check out his videos. He that at CamaroSS, that 68 CamaroSS is something that it's a beautiful car, and he lovingly restored it. It's a real nice piece of equipment. You could just tell he loves the car. So it's really cool when you have somebody who you know, just does some good work like that. All right. So once again, if anybody else wants to join my my wall here, and if this wall fills up, we'll figure out a way of extending it. I probably what I should have done is, though I'm going to have to turn around and look up, I also have this huge canvas of the garage doors, so that's someplace else that these could get put. If for some, well, I guess this will be the long time people, and then as people, once this is full, I think I'll probably just start loading up the garage doors. I think that'll be interesting. My one should not plan on going anywhere soon, but that'll be an interesting timepiece to leave behind for like kids. If you go up in this barn, my older son helped me build this. And he had one of his buddies from college came down. They were both unemployed one summer, so you know, I was working and I had some money and I wanted the garage, and I figured, well, rather than give my son money and let him do stupid things, might as well have him and his friend work. That way they can earn money, and I can end up with a garage. When I priced this thing out, the price I got for having somebody built it was $25,000, and $25,000 was just 2 garage doors, non-insulated. See how it's up on 2 blocks. There wasn't that, and it was texture 111, not siding, and it was going to be unpainted, no windows, you know. So I built this whole thing, including paying my son and his friend and everything else, and it came in under 15. So I got my garage, I saved money, and the two of them had work for a few weeks. They worked for me, not every day, but you know, a couple of weeks, which was good for everybody involved. But back to the story and timepieces. His friend, you know, these were college kids. They were 18, 19 years old, and you know, everything was about their members. And his buddy, all over the place up above, he drew Wangs, you know, the famous male member. He drew them everywhere. And I had a buddy of mine from work also helping out, who was a cranky son of a bitch, Tim. Great guy, love him to death, but he's a cranky son of a bitch. And this kid Gary drew these Wangs all over the place. And whenever Tim would put his hand near one, you know, Gary would, you know, yell out, "Tim, you just touched my Wang," and start laughing and all. And I mean, it was just hilarious. It was college humor, obviously. But and Tim would just go nuts. It piss him off to no end. You know, shut the fuck up. I mean, excuse my language, but you know, shut up. You know, and that would just, you know, set the whole crew off. hysterically. And but I mean, so if you go up above and you look at the rafters, particularly the roof rafters, you'll see where Gary drew them all over the place, trying to trick Tim into touching one of his drawings, at which time the whole cycle would repeat again. And it got to the point where you would watch Tim, and Tim was paranoid about every piece of wood he touched, because Gary got to the point where he was drawing him on the pile of lumber. You know, he was drawing them on the plywood. He was drawing them all over the place, trying to trick Tim into touching his drawing. And, you know, then Tim, you know, Gary would go off and Tim would explode, and we would all go hysterical. So anyway, college humor story about when this place was built. And it'll be an interesting timepiece once again. I don't know. I plan on trying to keep this property in the family forever and ever and ever. Maybe possible, maybe not, with the tax bill that goes with it. But if I do manage to keep it in the family, whoever gets it will go upstairs and see that and go, well, what is this stupidity? Especially if it's my younger son, he'll be like, what's this? Why are these wangs drawn all over the place? So I'm going to have to tell him the story before I go over the side, and you know, just amusing, right? Stupidity of the earlier generations. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the story. Good mail call. Go check out my buddy, who I don't want to screw up his name, 1WildCamaro. And in the meantime, folks, remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and please get out there and enjoy all your days. And while you're out there enjoying your day, look for some amusing story, whatever it is. Sometimes you could look at graffiti and think it's funny. Sometimes you could look at the way somebody has their car and it's funny, whether it's the back seats full right up to the water level with junk. Even people who are compulsively neat, I find them amusing, especially if, you know, you can kind of do something that upsets them a little bit, like, you know, when you get out of their car, deliberately leave a gum wrapper, not gum because that's rude, but a gum wrapper in a place that you know will just spin them up, you know, or in my case, I like to buy toys that make a lot of noise, and then you give them to somebody's kid. Oh, I got a toy for you, knowing that on the ride home, that kid is going to make that toy make noise for the entire ride, and they're just going to have, you know, they'll be pulling their hair out. Or, in Gary's case, draw pictures of men's privates all over the lumber, and then laugh at somebody who touches the lumber somewhere near the privates. I mean, if Tim never went off, the game would have ended. But as soon as Tim went off a couple of times, it was like game on. You can't let things bother you, man. You got to let it roll. All right, once again, feet down, head up, and get out there and enjoy your days. Bye now.